When someone starts a company, they never think they'll be part of the 90%, the 9 out of 10 that won't make it. In this room, in that moment, all they see is potential, a bold idea, a new beginning. But what most people never see is what comes after the pitch, after the launch party, after the big smiles and optimistic press releases. The truth is, building a startup isn't hard because of bad ideas. It's hard because everything has to go right, and it almost never does. Roughly 90% of startups shut down within the first 5 years. That statistic gets thrown around a lot, but behind it are real people. Founders who poured their savings, their energy, even their identity into something they truly believed would work. And still, it didn't. Sometimes it's not one huge mistake that leads to failure. It's a series of small ones. Missing early signs, ignoring hard feedback, believing that passion alone would be enough to keep the lights on. I've watched this happen more times than I can count. Startups unraveling not because of the product, but because the people behind it couldn't hold it together. The first year is the most fragile. 1 out of 5 startups won't even survive that. But the real war happens over 5. Only about half make it that far, and only a small fraction, maybe 10%, last long enough to truly grow. It's not to scare anyone, it's to prepare them. One of the most common traps? Building something that looks impressive, but solves nothing. No matter how futuristic your idea sounds, if it doesn't meet a real need, people won't stay. They won't pay, and they won't care. Sometimes what tears a startup apart isn't the market, it's the team. When co-founders clash over the vision, the pace, the money, things break down from the inside. And when that trust goes, it's hard to build anything lasting. But the ones who survive, they're not perfect. They're just clear. They talk, they listen, they plan, even when it's uncomfortable. Too many early-stage startups confuse investor money with profit. They spend like the finish line is right around the corner. But it's not. It's barely the beginning. Money dries up faster than expected, especially when there's no roadmap, no restraint, no real understanding of how far every dollar needs to stretch. Every startup needs to ask, how fast are we burning cash? And what progress are we making for every cent we spend? If the answer isn't clear, the end often comes quickly. A good product is never enough. People won't find it just because it exists. If your marketing doesn't reach the right people with the right message at the right time, it's invisible. Startups live or die by their connection to the customer. Real feedback, honest pain points, and messages that resonate. Those are the foundations of growth. The rise of remote work brought freedom, but also fragility. Without strong leadership and crystal clear communication, remote teams drift. The energy fades. Deadlines slip. The teams that thrive, the ones where trust is built even from afar, where over-communication isn't a flaw, but a lifeline. Legal blind spots, once dismissed as early-stage problems, now come with real consequences. Privacy laws are strict. Security lapses carry weight. Reputations crumble. Trust isn't just something you earn from users, it's something you protect. And the earlier you do that, the stronger your foundation becomes. Then there's the quiet threat no one budgets for: burnout. The pressure to perform, the fear of falling behind, the endless hours. It takes a toll. slowly at first, then all at once. Taking care of your mind isn't optional. It's essential, because the company can't run if the one steering it is lost. Hiring too fast or hiring the wrong people can be just as dangerous as running out of cash. Every early hire shapes the company. Bad one slows it down. In a small team, culture isn't written, it's lived. And who you bring in defines what you become. Leadership, especially for first-time founders, is one of the hardest skills to develop. Not because they don't care, but because they don't yet know how. Good leadership isn't about being right all the time. It's about creating clarity and giving your team the space to grow with you. Startups don't fail just because they made one wrong move. They fail because they couldn't recover from many. They didn't listen, they didn't adapt, or they refused to see the signs. The survivors are the ones who stay flexible, who change course when they need to, who stay close to their users and closer to their purpose. Startups are hard, they're chaotic, unpredictable, but they're not doomed. Every mistake made by someone else is a lesson waiting for you to study, to understand, to do better. If this story opened your eyes, if you learned something new about what it really takes to build, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's walking the same road. If you learned something that school never taught, we don't just tell stories here. We pass on survival skills, so the next builder doesn't have to fall the same way.